There is no fairness in this whole situation. There is no fairness in a diagnosis of cancer. There's no fairness in a diagnosis of a catastrophic illness. Considering the fact that probably 40% of women and 45% of men will have a cancer diagnosis at some point in their life, that affects a huge amount of the population. I've seen people lose all their life savings. I have seen them lose their farms. I've seen them lose their business, their children. I know a mom that had to give her children up to Child and Family Services because she wasn't able to look after them anymore. I've seen people that have struggled with just day-to-day living, eating, putting tires on their cars, heating their homes. The financial burden is felt not only by the patient, but also by their caregiver and their families. Oftentimes, with a cancer diagnosis, the caregiver is the spouse or the parent, and maybe they're the breadwinner in the family. They may have to quit their job to look after the person that's sick. One story that comes to mind is a young couple. They were an immigrant couple that had recently moved to the area. And unfortunately, the husband, who was the breadwinner, he was actually a truck driver, was diagnosed with cancer. And he was needed to be hospitalized for a length of time. They had no family in Canada, and of course she wanted to be with her husband. And she was quite pregnant. She was over 6 months pregnant with their first child. They couldn't afford to have her stay in a hotel. She couldn't afford, because she didn't drive, she couldn't drive from their home, which was 2 hours away, into the city. She couldn't afford food. They had used up all the amount that they had saved up prior to that time. She actually stayed in his hospital room with him. She actually ate the food off his tray because she couldn't afford to go out. It was devastating for them to just survive. Unfortunately, he died, and that child is being raised by a mom that went through something that people should never have to go through. The financial burden affects all chronic illness patients, including heart disease, respiratory disease, MS, all the chronic illnesses, because just like the cancer patient, their expenses go up, their income goes down, and their life is totally turned around. And so many of us are not prepared to deal with such a catastrophic event. We need to look for organizations, groups, individuals that will take on various aspects of dealing with what can be done, whether it's with governments, whether it's in communities, if it's looking at transportation programs, if it's with a church group. We need to all work together to lessen this financial burden for people that are traveling the journey.